Hi, Ms. Smith. I'm Leslie.
Nice meeting you, Sarah.
Sarah, great. You come on in. Were you able to find our offices all right?
Yeah, it was good, thank you.
Can be a little bit tricky sometimes, a little bit off to Main Road.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Yep.
Had to ask a couple people, but it's good.
My colleague, Guru.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Sarah.
Sarah, nice to meet you. Sit down, please.
So, how are you feeling today, Sarah? How are you doing?
Yeah, okay.
That's good. And before we begin, our assistant passed on your contact details to us, your mobile number and your email address. What would be the best way for us to contact you?
Probably more.
Mobile, okay, great. And here are both Guru and my business cards.
That's fine.
You'll see that apart from the office number, we also have both our mobile numbers on it, and certainly if you do decide to engage our services, we understand that matters may crop up that you may need to discuss with us. So please feel free to contact us on our mobiles, even if it is after office hours. We're always happy to take the call. So certainly, if you do need us, we're certainly happy to take the call.
And even if we're not at the office, feel free to drop a message to our secretary and they'll pass it on to us as well.
That's right.
Now, we understand that you obviously want to start talking about some of the issues that you're facing with at the moment, but there's just a few preliminary matters that we just want to talk to you about. And that's there to help you understand what you can expect from this sort of session. The first thing we want to talk to you about, we just want to get some personal details off you. Can we get your date of birth off you, please?
Yeah, so it's 6th of June, 1994.
Thanks. And also your residential address, please.
11 Beaufort Street, Leaderfield.
Have you received any legal advice about this issue before, Sarah?
I haven't received specific, gone to a law firm, but one of my friends, their dad, is a lawyer for a top law firm.
Okay.
Yeah, so I have spoken to him.
Okay. And was that just like a brief chat, or?
I asked him to review one of the documents that I'm going to be speaking about,
Yeah.
And he reviewed it for me.
Yeah.
He's quite busy at the moment, so he doesn't have a lot of time.
Okay. And he was just, what did he comment about that document? Was it just?
Yeah. He reviewed the document as pro bono.
Yeah.
He also thought I had a strong case, so perhaps there were other avenues.
Okay, okay. The other thing we want to talk to you about is confidentiality. I want you to understand that everything that you say to us, and we're taking notes as well throughout the session, all the notes, all the discussions that we have are subject to confidentiality. And that's there to I guess, encourage you to be as frank as possible. And if you're able to do that, then that puts us in a good position to help you out. The other thing we want to talk to you about is conflicts of interest. We have a duty to ensure that there's no conflict between your interests and the interests of clients that we've retained. So the way we do that is that after this session we run a conflict search. But I guess the important thing for you to know is that we want you to try and describe the situations as best as you can. And if you can put names to people that you're describing or firms that you're describing, that'd be good as well. And as I said, that's a duty that we ensure that we do that duty as well. So is there any questions you have about those?
No.
What I'd like to talk to you about now, Sarah, is the issue of our fees. As I'm sure our assistant would have told you, this first session is taken care of. It's absolutely free. Now, should you then decide to engage our services any further, any subsequent work we do for you will be charged at the rate of $200 an hour, and this is a fee schedule in that regard. Now, of course, beyond this initial consultation, you're under no compulsion to engage our services any further. How do you feel about that cost structure?
Well, I don't have much money to spend, to be honest.
Okay.
I'm 19 years old.
Sure. Well, certainly a facility that our firm has available is pro bono support. And so if that is something that you wish to seek, if you do decide to engage our services, what we will do is we will assess your financial situation against the eligibility criteria for that support. And in that regard, we would ask that you either provide, if you do have one, your most recent payslip, or failing that, a bank statement. But I do want to assure you that certainly if that you do qualify for that pro bono support, we are more than happy to extend that facility to you.
I just want a quick solution.
Sure. Before we move on, do you have any questions regards to any of these initial matters?
No, we're good.
Great. Before we get into the interview proper, I'd just like to outline for you the way we see this meeting today proceeding. As you know, this is obviously our first consultation, so what you can probably expect from this session is that we will be working through the issues you are facing, and in a moment we'll ask you to tell us about those issues. We'll then likely follow up with some questions so we can get more details from you. At that point, what we will do is we will summarize all the information that you have provided to us back to you so that you feel confident that we fully understand the situation you're in. And if at that point you feel that we have missed anything, certainly feel free to correct us, or if you feel that you have omitted anything, certainly do jump in and let us know. And we'll finally conclude by outlining what the appropriate next steps are from here. Sound all right to you?
Yep, sounds good.
Great. Well, our assistant told us that you're having some employment disputes with your employer. Why don't you tell us about that?
Yeah, so in July 2012, I started working for Big Ben's Burgers. I was just a casual employee. A month later, I became secretly romantically involved with Harry, so he works at Big Ben's Burgers as well.
Okay.
He's a fellow worker with me. My boss was not happy at all, so Ben wasn't happy when he found out about us. He found out a month later, so in October.
Okay.
A month after that, in November, he demanded that I sign this document. I was really unsure about the contents. I didn't know what it meant, but I felt forced to sign the document.
Okay.
I was afraid and intimidated by him as well. I ended up breaking up with Harry in January 2013.
Mm-hmm.
He did treat me a bit better after I broke up with Harry, but I felt like the workplace was toxic, so I just left in February, a month
Okay.
later. On the weekend, I saw a great job that was advertised, and it was offered to me on Monday. I'm just really unsure. I really regret signing that document. I felt like I had to sign the document.
Okay. And just to take you a step back, how long have you been in Big Ben's employ?
So from July 2012 to February 2013.
Okay.
Okay. So that would be 7 months now.
Yep.
Yeah. So you were a casual initially with Big Ben's Burgers. You mentioned about Harry and your boss. What's the name of your boss?
Ben.
Ben. And is there any relation between Ben and Harry, or is it just purely because?
It was just this, it would be the same relationship as just myself and Ben, so just worker, so employer and employee.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, okay. Now, in terms of, you mentioned about the document that you had to sign. Was that in November, did you say?
Yeah, so in 15th of November, he showed me this document. I was really unsure, I didn't understand what it meant. And then the next day, he demanded that I signed it. And I felt like I had to sign it.
Is that the same document which your friend's lawyer had to have a look at, or is
Yes,
that?
it was, yeah.
And what did that outline, that document?
So the document was about post-employment restraints and confidentiality.
Okay.
So outlined.
Now, you said that he just gave you this document and you signed it. How did he come? Did he come to you during work, or did he? How did he give you that document in the first place?
So initially he just asked me to, so it was at work, he asked me to sign this document to clarify a few details about my employment arrangements. So casual, minimum 20 hours, basic employment contract. He refused to tell me what it was about. I did have a quick look at it, but I refused to sign it because I wasn't sure about it. And the next day, so on the 16th, he just demanded that I signed it. And
Okay.
So beyond obviously you said the document was called, headed anyway, post-employment
yeah.
restraints and confidentiality, and you also mentioned a term regarding the 20-hour casual rate, you know, you having to work 20 hours a week. Was there any other matters in the document that you managed to have a look at?
Yep, so I did see the word restraint in the title.
Okay.
I didn't read the document well though, and I didn't understand what it meant, so I was really hesitant to sign it.
Yeah.
At the time, I really needed money as well. So I just wanted to make peace with him because he's my employer, so I need to keep the job as well.
Sure.
And just make the problem go away.
Okay.
So he gave you this document, and you said that he asked you to sign it pretty much, you know, immediately. Was it quite forceful, or how did he come across in that sort of instance?
Yeah, he became really angry. I told him I didn't understand, and he just really insisted that I sign the document. And he also threatened me and excluded that if I didn't sign it, he was going to set my house on fire. And he
Okay.
would tell everyone at Big Ben's Burgers about my relationship.
Okay. Now, was this, you know,